have supplies, so even for expanding. Explain to students that we use measurement every day and show videos. See, again, it's a plan for you to use. This is your guidebook, it's your manual. And you created it so you can edit it. If it's not working within the classroom, edit it so that you can figure out, okay, this is what I need to do for the next day to get them engaged, to get them to explore. This is what I need to do next year so that I can prepare for this lesson and not be as disorganized. The first time you do it, it might not be perfect. But it makes sure that you are well prepared and you are not caught off guard. Because students can be very chaotic. But it's our duty to be able to enforce and be able to efficiently teach these students. Now, if we look at the evaluation part of a lesson plan closely, you can tell that it's evaluating not only yourself, but the students through worksheets, through tests, and these evaluations are for ourselves as teachers to see if we did well with the lesson and if we can modify it for the next year or for the next day so that a lesson can be more efficient and we are able to predict better of what the student will actually do or how they will react to the lessons that we as teachers teach. Now, if we also look at the activities for differentiation and the activities or accommodations for disabled, you can see that students are different. Students learn differently, and some people need accommodations. You have to look at students that need ramps for wheelchairs. You will need to look at students that might need technology that will help them to read or to see better. You'll also need to figure out activities that will help auditory and visual learners, kinesthetic learners. So this way, that every student is able to get something from your lesson that you teach throughout the week or throughout that day. This way, all the students are engaged and they are interacting. Now, we want to also understand that it is our duty as teachers to be able to plan and organize these lessons so that the students can thrive. If a student does not learn something from a lesson and does not meet the goals and expectations and the objectives that are set by either TEKS or by the teachers and principals, then there is something wrong. And that's where we have to go back and modify it. These lesson plans, again, are not always perfect, but this is how we as teachers learn too. Teaching is also a learning process. Now, we have to also understand our abilities, and we must understand that we have to be prepared in advance. Even though we have a lesson plan, we can't go in and start just teaching without the preparation, without the materials. So this lesson plan that you make needs to entail materials. It needs to note objectives that you will be teaching that day, goals, and how you will evaluate yourself and the students. Is there any questions or comments that you guys have? Yes. Okay, so Stanley has asked, what kind of accommodations do we look for, or what kind of things that do we need in a classroom so that we can accommodate disabled people? Is that correct? Yes. Okay. So I would say that you always need to especially look for students that are in the electric wheelchairs and regular wheelchairs. You have to make sure that there's a path for them to be able to go throughout the classroom to the different centers. You have to see if they can go outside. Make sure even some students are allergic to different snacks that are given in the classroom. So we have to be prepared for even those kind of accommodations. Find out the allergies of students. Find out if students need reading material or reading devices such as magnifying glasses, electronic readers, text-to-speech or speech-to-text applications. So those kind of technology you might need to look into, especially the ramps and the spacing in the classrooms so that people can move around, especially those who are in wheelchair or those who are even on crutches. Some students, have a sprained ankle or break their leg that weekend, and so it's important to accommodate for those kind of students. Yes, you had a question. Yes, go ahead. Okay, so Joseph asked, what do you do with students that are, what if there's any kind of discipline issues? Well, okay, so yeah, definitely. So for those students that have, discipline issues or have just attitude problems, you might want to make a note of that. Okay, this is how I will deal with this, this type of behavior, or this is what I will do if this happens. So you as a teacher, from experience, will know that students might behave in this way to something. So if they're not supposed to be touching something and they do touch it, what's the consequence for that? So even in the lesson plan, you can put and list out different consequences and different disciplinary actions. Yes, you had a question? Yes. Well, okay, so the question was, how long does it take to plan a lesson plan? Okay, so it can, most teachers do it during the summertime. They do it so that they can prepare for the students, and that way there's no lag time. Some teachers like to put some room into their lesson plans so that they can figure out, okay, what kind of students do I have? How do I prepare for this student? How many students do I have in a classroom? So the lesson plans need to be where it's very highly detailed, to where you have the best case scenario and the worst case scenario. And what if I have only 10 students show up? Or what if I have more than 30 students this year? So it just depends. And maybe sometimes even, okay, for different amounts, okay, we will need this much amount this year. You might want to put a blank. You might want to budget in things. You might want to figure out how many snacks you need, or how many volunteers from parents you need. So different things like that, it's important to figure out in advance. There's also different types of lesson plans. This one was a 1-week lesson plan. So you have like the daily lesson plans as well that you can do. So it doesn't have to be fire, home, safety for 1 week. It can be about dinosaurs one day. It can be about the moon the second day, oceans. It can be about just different lesson plans daily, different lessons daily. Or you can focus on one big idea and put everything into it, such as what I did with the science and the social studies and English, all in the lesson of fire, home, safety. and they, without even knowing, they learn language skills, they learn science skills, and they learn math skills. Does that answer your question? Yes. Okay, thank you. Is there any other questions that anyone would like to ask? Well, I would like to thank you guys for coming. I would like to especially thank the principal of this church for giving me this opportunity to speak in this area. So thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There's refreshments in the other hall, so please take. And I hope you guys drive safely home. And again, thank you so much.